Okay, so we're continuing the chesed Avram, the maseh choshev on Pesach. We just did part 2, I think pretty quick, discussion of a little bit of chassidus of what it means that the das is in Galus. So now we're going to just continue with the lesson of the chesed Avram. Bidah. We're towards the end. I think we'll go again, probably again. Actually,
I have a marker there.
Hmm?
I have a marker on Kfar Nisbaretz Leino, the paragraph before.
Where it is? Ukfar Nisbaretz Leinu, that's what we're up to?
I have a marker there, I don't know why.
Okay. Ukfar Nisbaretz Leinu, so we're up to the second column? Second paragraph from the end.
I know, we did do that, I'm sorry.
I think we did, yeah.
Chas
Bidah.
v'shalom.
So last paragraph. Bidah. Ki bizman ha'gos mitzrayim chazar azar liyosu gimel klinim b'klas hanikra ibarishon. By this document b'chinas ispashtus ha'hei chasadim shalois reguf kanai. So we did this also. Right? So what happened was there was an embryonic aspect to the Zah. This means that in terms of what needs to come out and needs to be actualized, there's zero actualization, which we spoke about. Like in terms of the things we want to get out of Mitzrayim, that we're slaves, and unfortunately we have no actualization. We just can't seem to get over them. The old Amala al Soda Dashabo Bimakam Agoron. Shesod Mitzrayim Ashisham How Mistayim Soda Yisod the Ima Basoch Hazak Kanoida. Yeah, the Bechina that's called the Yisod of Ima in the Zah, Bekitzer, to be very, very, very Bekitzer. So we'll see that a little bit in a minute. We'll get to that. What that means, the Maisa, the higher level, builds the lower level. That's what we'll find out. So usually the Nai, the lower levels of the higher level, builds the lower level. And we'll see in a minute, he's talking about it a little bit more in detail, so we'll go into a little more in detail. But like the bottom line is, Bekitzer Nimratz, like to be very, very concise about what we're talking about. It's just like a parent or teacher teaching a student who has limited ability to really understand, doesn't have the background, doesn't have the understanding, whatever it may be, and you teach your child, you don't teach your child your information. You give your child a level of like nahi, like the lower level compared to your cognition, you give them the nahi, like you give them a little bit of an understanding. To feel what they can understand. That's the aspect of the ima building, like the parent kidu builds. So similarly, you have this bechina, that's how the Talaros explains. Similarly, you have this bechina in every aspect, where you have the higher aspect building the lower aspect. And it's the same thing within us as well. The more we're able to bring the higher aspect to bear, the more we're able to bring the bechina of the ima, right? The more you're able to bring the bechina of tshuva, and to really build, you have to build. You're able to move. You have to get movement in. The more you're going to have actualization and not just sticking to potential and not actualized. That's how it comes out here, right? And we'll see a little more in a minute. And an acharayim, an outer aspect, bekitzer. And we'll see maybe a little bit in a minute that the mice is a bechin of dam, right? Aleph al kef k, which is gematria dam, and that gematria dam caused all the bloodshed in Mitzrayim. Right, so we'll see. So we're up to the first paragraph in Tzadik Test, next page. It has to be that even though you have an embryo, it has to have its own mind, its own brain. It doesn't have so much, not actualized, but it's there. It has to have also this bechin of the nahidim. Again, this nahidim is going to be what builds up, and that's that's what the Talos explains. It means bringing in your hasaga in a way that a person is able to understand. That's why the Rabbi Nachman said, "I have incredible hasagas, but if it's something people want to understand what I'm talking about, I didn't want to bring it down. It's not helpful. I wanted something that's going to be helpful. Even though it's very sublime, I want it to be able to reach a person. That's what I want to get. If it's not reaching, it's not helpful." So this is the beginning of someone who's able to go to a higher place. You want to bring it down where people are able to understand it to get what you're talking about, not just talk about sublime things that they don't know what you mean. You want to get to a place where at least it relates to you at some level.
When it gets to maturity, does that mean it switches over to getting from Abba, or just from a higher level?
No, it means it's built. The Bechin of Abba, it's complicated. But Kitzer, you always have to have a Bechin of Abba also. But generally speaking, the higher level builds the lower level. And it could be that there are different levels of Ima that are going to build the different levels of Ima. That's called the Nai of Ima. What level of Ima? So we're not going to go there. It's too complicated for now. But Bekitzer, depending where you're holding, you'll get different levels of different actualization of and understanding one thing from the other. But you have to have some aspect of this connection on a deep level. This chachma also. This Abba, otherwise you have problems. That's a rasta. It's not good. You want to have actualization.
Is it get from Abba directly though, or just via?
It gets from Abba through Ima, generally speaking. Again, there's more stages to that. There are different beginners and stages. Those are the things where it's sort of it does sort of get from Abba to Bar, from Abba directly. But Pashtus, generally speaking, the Pashtus is the Netzach of the soul of Ima. The lower levels of Ima build all the levels of the Zah. We divided into three
it doesn't
aspects.
even move up to the higher levels?
That's what we've divided into three aspects, and those three aspects build those three aspects of Zah. So you have, let's say, Netzach, the right side. And again, in terms of Chassidus, like we spoke about last time, like Netzach means, let's say, Eitzes, right? Having the right type of Eitzes, and the right type of counsel and advice. That's really what you can give when you're in a different place, where you can give a person guidance, but you can't always give more than where they are to know what you're talking about, like where you get this from. This way, should it be that way? You give guidance, the person takes guidance, he goes with it, so then that's what you have, you know what to do, but you can't necessarily do more. That's what's going to build the other person's whole malach, his whole understanding will get built. He gets the guidance, he gets to write the eights, and you do it, and then you slowly but surely you're able to understand. Like Nasav Nishma, like the Kotzker says, it means you do, and then you really understand it. So you have the Bechin of the Netzach, the Bechin of the Hod, being able to, the Netzach part of that, like I said last week, was like, is rejection. You have to know what to be molded, like this, no. In order to make the eights work, I can't be, if I'm going to drink myself to bed every night, I wake up with a hangover, I'm not going to have a productive day, right? You don't have to be competent, you don't have to be a genius, you might have the best dates in the world, but if I'm going to eat myself to, the person going to eat and get a stomach ache and then wakes in the morning, he doesn't have any cook, so obviously he's not going to get anything done. Right? There's certain things that you understand. This you have to reject in order to get things done. That's the way, and that's something we have to work on. So that's the Bechin of the Hod. And the Yesod is this realization that what I do makes a difference. Those three aspects of the higher level build all the aspects of the lower level. So as at the lower level, you have the Chachma, the Chachma, Chesed, Netzach, is the right side, Chachan, the right side of things. More expansive aspect. You have this right Chachma is like totally nullifying oneself to Hashem. And Chesed is the Bechin of Av before Hashem, or expansiveness, and Netzach is this idea of getting the right eights according to your level. And then Hod is the Baga, Bina, Gvura, Hod. The Bina is this understanding one thing from the other and being able to actualize. And we'll see a lot more about these things, much more. We'll see even in depth. For what?
Bina, Gvura, Hod, right?
Yeah, Bina, Gvura, Hod, that's right. And Gvura is limits, or Yiras Hashem, and Hod is admitting, and also being Modato Hashem, and admitting that everything we have, every breath, I might not understand what Hashem's master plan is, and I might have questions that are strong questions, but that does not mean that I don't understand that. Like, bottom line, every breath is from Him, or I have so many good things, so much wonderful things, it's all from Him. Every good thing is from Him. I have to know that as well. Right? So he said, you have these aspects. Because that's what you're building. You're only in potential and actualized, yes, but you have to have all these things. Now, by the way, that's what the Ari says. That's why a woman, after she gives birth, her feet get cold.
Wow.
She said that's the beginning that the Ima, when the aspect of Ima, that the Nayad Ima becomes the Zah, so that feet go to the Zah,
wow.
And then she needs a new beginning of feet. Therefore, her feet are cold. That's what that's how the Ari explains. Amazing. So that's the bottom line of things. Like a very big. So it's got to be at some level, but lechitzonos. That means the outer aspect. You're not ready yet to actualize your potential. You have you're sort of caught. The person's kind of stuck. He's stuck. He doesn't have the ability to get anywhere. He's stuck.
A lot of us go to Zah.
Huh?
A lot of us go to the child, which is
again.
Her lower levels.
Yeah, the lower levels go to the child, and then she gets new ones, and that's why it's cold because she's missing something there. Right. That's what the Ri says.
And what are those lower levels?
That's Chod Yesod. That's right. And Yesod means knowing what you do counts. Netzach means find the right eitzes to do what you need to do. And Hod means admitting and appreciating what you have. And like really, these inyanim are all you're able to give to someone like a child, a person like just developing. You can't. There's only so much you can give them. There's only so much you can give them, and you do your best. But there's only so much, and when the Torah is constructed such a way, it's Torah Shabbat Peh, Torah Shabbat Chassav. One of the reasons why that there's an oral aspect as well. The Maral says the Maral brings 5 reasons, but one of the reasons the Maral brings is because every child has to be able to relate to the Torah, so you could read it and it makes sense to him, and it makes perfect sense. He doesn't have the understanding, so there's all Torah, and whatever. He doesn't really know, but you have to also be able to get to it when you're in a higher, different level. So you can't necessarily share, certainly not quickly, Kabbalistic realities with people who don't know Kabbalah. Like the way Kabbalah is worked out, it's called Kabbalah to accept. You're not going to understand anything about it until you get a very big, very broad understanding, very broad knowledge. Like here we're doing a little bit, and we're able to get a little into it because the Avodas firm happened to give us a little bit of a key into understanding what these things mean a little bit. But really, if you really want to understand what's really going on, all these sugyas and how it works, it's a very complicated thing. It's very complicated. So and it's beautiful. I know people you learn through you get. But that's what the Elon though. One of the big things why I'm very into learning the Elon. Once you have the Elon, you can put things into their proper context, and you get it. And you're like, oh, now this goes here. It becomes something completely different. And really, once you start to learn deeper things, you start to really get a hold of it, get an understanding of it, and get a feel for it. It connects you on a level that's very, very hard to compare to. So much so that one call that I was once checking out Kol Chatzos to learn only Kabbalah, and he's like, yeah, Rabbi Yaakov, he's like, well, Rabbi Yaakov says you have to learn Gemara, you can't only learn Kabbalah, it's so sweet, but you can't mamish stay your whole life. You have to, it's like a person has a hard time carrying stuff away. It's so strong. So that's like, you want to get to this place, and then you start to, it does certain very, very important things. So that's a very important function of it. So like, the Maisa, you have these beginners, and that's when you said you can only give like, the bottom line of it. The bottom line. So again, like we're doing now, eights is this, we're getting a little inkling, but at a certain point you're going to be built, and you're going to get to a place where what you know now, your mochin now, your understanding now is going to be your netzchot yesod. It's going to be your lower level. Now you're going to build another level, bring a different aspect of Iman, a different aspect of Abba, and that's the way it works. Different aspects of understanding one thing from another. Different aspect of nullifying yourself to Hashem, a different field in nullifying yourself to Hashem, which is the chachma. Right, there are different levels, different different things. So that's where it comes from. Very good, right? So only the chitzonis. V'lechein az kol hamoichin b'frat achsad v'gvura she'adas shebo toy sod hagalas sahu k'nizker. Chanikulim mistakim menu. Right. So again, b'frat achsad v'gvura she'adas shebo toloi. So the goal is who can scare how you cool them stocking men how you know rackets on the bush you saw the bar. So again, really when you want to make something happen, when you want something to actually happen, when you're dealing with like these right. Chesed Gvurti Feres. So one of the things we said last week from the ground about Tanya is let's say Aviyad Vekas, right?
Again.
Aviyad Vekas Chesed Gvurti Feres. Right? That's Aviyad Vekas. If you want to get to this place of Aviyad Vekas, you want to get to this place of proper balance and expansiveness and in limits and in truth, right? So you have to have the Chasadim Tzibbadas and Gvur B'das. That's what he said. All of these levels have the aspect of Das. You have to know how to actualize them, how to move on to that next level, how to get there.
Aviyad Vekas is?
Vekas is Tiferes. Right. So you have to have this Bechina of Das. I have to have Das. The Chasadim Tzibbadas and Gvur B'das, the ability to have this balanced aspect of really bringing the Das into who I am. Really bring it down into me. That's the kind of power. Power gets in the way. It's like such a form of faith. Power won't say, but like the power gets in the way. Ha'urif, he doesn't let it penetrate.
How do you bring the das into how does a person bring a das into himself?
Oh, so you need to have chasor the das and grusdas. You have das into yourself. Person, there are levels and levels. This is what Rav Dessler says. It's very useful to understand these things a little bit better. Is that there's many levels. This is sort of nothing really. Nothing explains. You just have to explain a little more broadly. But nothing explains that really. Apidari. You have all 10 levels, right? You have Malchus. You start with, let's say, right, and then you move up to Yisod, and then you move up to Hod, and then Netzach, right? Then you go to Tiferes. Then you go to Gvura, Chesed, right? Then Das, Bina, Chochmah, right? Keser, then again Malchus. So this is that's every person according to level, because Keser and Malchus they interface. The Keser from the lower level is the Malchus the next level. He said when you're going to the next level, you move on, you move up. And we spoke a little about this last time, I think. And like the bottom line is that you have to like this is what Des is something called the Bechira point. I like to use his little muscle there. He says there's some things where you already internalize them. Shabbos is Shabbos. Like there's no big nisayon. At a certain point where a person doesn't have any nisayon anymore, the marshal. I give you a marshal. A person knows he needs to learn every day, so he learns every day. It's like tefillin. The Piazza says like tefillin. They're not gonna miss tefillin. Like tefillin's like very very straightforward. Like tefillin is very important. So like you're not gonna let. So some people learning also. They spend a little time learning after davening. They learn every day after davening. So you learn. You can't be into a place where it's important to like tefillin. So you'll do it. Every person according to where he's holding, he for him that's already you have all the levels in that. And there's always a way of improving, and that's a different point which we could talk about. But even though you have all the levels and it's always possible to improve, the Maisa, bottom line is, that this is all pretty much done. You're done. You're with it. It's part of who you are. It's part of where you are. You're not going to eat that kosher. You're eating kosher. Finish. Sometimes it's just from how you were raised, and the person comes to himself. But one way or the other way, this is something which is part of him. Part of him. I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna say nine because this bechina, that bechina. All different bechinas, all different things where a person's like he has these darim and they're pretty much set. So according to the next level, you have to move on. You have to move forward. The next level, you're now a machos. You're starting all over. It all has to do with the more das you have, das tachton. So when I have a certain amount of das tachton, I understand you can talk to someone. There's someone who's just starting out. New bachuva. He was in that brute. The bells. They have this really great Kiev company, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, that's a bells thing?
Yeah, it's bells. That was bells. So yeah, so they're very, very, very choshev strong. They're very into Kiev actually, from a certain perspective. But yes, they're very into Kiev. So they're Hebrew, if I'm not mistaken, from bells, and you have a guy come to Hebrew and he's like, okay, I was inspired. I went to Arachim, was inspired. I can do one thing, and I'm willing to do either keep or yam or tzitzis. I'm not sure what to do. So it's Yasha, like, what should we do? What should you have him do? On the one hand, keep a yarmulke. It's not what mitzvah you're doing. It's the minute you start. It's chashav. It's a kiyuv with the rice, but you're not chayav to do it. The Gemara says if you don't do the white, it's easy to get a hold of when it's a hard time. When you're under din or the world's under din, you can get seriously punished. It's not kedai. Like you should put on a 4-corner garment. Kedai, very kedai. Connection is big thing. We don't miss it's but they didn't know what to tell him. So that's what we actually said yarmulke. Because that it relates him to being a Jew publicly. He's publicly declaring him a Jew. When since it's under things, you know what I mean? You can stay chilonim more. He's like, then he'll bring him closer faster. That was what he felt. It'll help him overcome. That was what he felt.
So that's Rav Moshe Feinstein question. Many people asked Rav Moshe Feinstein. One question was, they had guys who go into nightclubs. And they're going to go anyway, so should they take their kippot off or not? Mm-hmm. He said, don't go, but if you go, leave it on.
Wow.
Really? Probably the same reason.
Hopefully the tshuva. Again, it's a Gemara that says there are different Gemara. That's the thing.
He reminds them who they are.
Again, he assumed, the problem with, you have to know context. But usually, unfortunately, the generation with Moshe was dealing with, the people who took their kippos off in a nightclub didn't put them back on. That was the problem. They eventually went off it there. So he's like, no, you have to leave it on. You can chil Hashem very nice, but you can't make such a kiddush Hashem that the guy goes off the derech. So he needs to keep it for his Yiddishkeit. It's possible. And again, I don't know. You don't know what all the factors are. I don't really know. The Gemara says there's a place. The Gemara says you put on shchorim and you do whatever you have to do. There's also discussing what does that mean exactly. But actually, one way or the other way, getting it like again this idea of the das. Like they did, and maybe the other way, there was a guy who was Nebuch, who was caught embezzling whatever he did, whatever taxing, who knows what he did, some financial terrible crime. It was a Satmar Chassid, and Satmar was like, you need to shave your beard and cut your payas and just put on a baseball cap. And he didn't listen, and he should have listened. So the kids are there different. So here we're talking about this guy starting out. So he has nothing. He has no to the Torah. He might be ready about his midos, but his Torah he doesn't have anything. So now he's starting to get to a place. Let's say he works on tzitzis, or he works on a yarmulke, right? So that becomes like he's slowly. You have to have chesed v'das in rush v'das. You have to have the chesed. You have to do it without feeling the pressure. You have to feel good. You have to have like a bechin of ahav there. You have to have a bechin of yir there. Understanding that makes it that seeing what you're doing. There's re'iyah. You have a tvekas and Hashem through it, or you emes. You do it with an emes, and then you have the netzach, and you have hold you so the right eitzah how to do it and what to do and where to do it, figuring it out. All these things have to do with every level you can get to, and you have to have all the different bechinas. And you have chasar and shvidas, and you rush shvidas. You have bechin of chesed, you have bechin of gura, and there are different aspects. And maybe we'll see as we go. We'll see maybe more. Each thing. What's the chesed here? What's the gura here? But you can really go through each of these levels. You can work through chesed. You have the bechin in chesed itself. Bechin of chesed, where when you have the right kind of das, you have to have chasar shvidas and rush shvidas. You have to know when a chesed is a chesed, what's a chesed, not a chesed, how to do a chesed. So this is so there's a kind of called tough love. You have to know how to do, what to do. Sometimes you know what I mean. You spoil your child, you're making a monster. I want ice cream. Oh, I'll give you ice cream. That's not appropriate. That's chesed without the proper rosh b'das. You have to know when to do what's right. It's the same with Avodas Hashem. You have to know when to do, when you need to do one thing, when you need to do the other thing. Someone who stays in bed all day, he's missing rosh b'das. someone who feels pressure to get up, he's missing chassadas b'das, or chassadas b'gvura is like that's a gvura. It's like you have to know everything has this different balance, getting the das properly. And there are two aspects, and this is really where you fix things. You want to get to das. Das usually means reflexive knowledge. You want to, that's LP the Shur. Das explains, others explain.
Yeah,
I know what that
that's
means.
Reflexive knowledge. You know and you do. You act because you know. It's knowledge which you know, and the Rebbe talks about it because Rani calls it das nikness, right? You really get to a place where you do it. Someone goes over to you, this is an example I like to give. Someone goes over to you and says, you want some money? I have money, I want to help someone. Maybe I'll help you, okay, so I'll give you a lot of money. All you have to do is mug that old little lady. You can do it. It's like, no way, I don't care how much money. It's not a matter of money. It's not within my value to mug some old little lady. Or anyone else for that matter. I don't mug people. It's just not who I am. I don't really care. Some people, for them, Lashon Hara is that way. They're not, Lashon Hara, I'm not going to talk. That's a different level. Well, there are levels and levels depending where you're holding. But this is das. So again, the chassadas b'das, derusha b'das, with all these beginners, like you have this. This is you. This is who you are. And this is part of our job. We have to learn how to really focus. We want to focus and learn. And like this one of the things we keep working on. This the mitzvahs to keep working again and again. You want to get to a place where you're doing it from Ava, Yira, Dveikus. It's really part of who you are. And the more you make the Torah that part of who you are, the more you make it part of where you are, the higher you're able to go, and the more you're able to achieve. So this all has to do with this chassadas b'das, derusha b'das, like making it really a part of you. When you do it automatically, reflexive. Of course I'm doing it. I care. I'm going to do it. It's very important. And that's all these levels. When it comes to Yira, when it comes to Hava, when it comes to Dveikus, and when it comes to, or you can do the right expansiveness or limits and knowing how to get them right. And it's like all has to be done the way it's supposed to be, the right way, not overly pressured and not overly like lackadaisical about it, getting it together, like all these different kinds of inyanim. They all have relevance here. So you have 5 levels of chassadas b'das, derusha b'das. Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod. All of those have chassadas b'das, derusha b'das. Yesod has all of them. That's why it's called Kol. 50 bechinas, 10 each, times 5. And Malchus is also Kala. And when you have it all working together properly, you're able to Mamlech Hashem on a totally different level. You make Hashem the Melech. You know that what you're doing makes a big difference.
Wait, why is
Malchus.
Yesod Kol and Malchus is Kala?
Because
they're both 5.
Because. So the Indian is like this. When you know that what you do counts really, 100%, really, truly, so then you're able to make what's called a yichud. You're able to do something where I'm able to make be mashpia the way I'm supposed to be mashpia. I'm able to do things the way they're supposed to be. And that you do, the more you have the chassadas b'das, derusha b'das, the more you have this real understanding, this bechina that you care, the more you're into this bechina of das, the more you're able to do it, to achieve it, to move forward, and to move on. That's Bekitzer. It's one way of understanding it.
It creates once a person has his...
Malchus becomes a Kala.
Exactly. And you're
So
able to
it's
be
not-
mashpia.
it's
Brings
not-
brachas
it's
on
not
a
that
simple level.
It's not like that it's spelled the same.
The Ramchal's
as
contract, no, it also is. Because the last hey. It also is spelled the same. Kol plus hey, correct. But nevertheless, if you want to put a simple structure, construct into it from this, when you do it this way, and you're looking at it, the chassadas b'das, derusha b'das, you look at these 5 bechinas, and you focus mostly on them, and then you automatically get a tremendous geschmack in what you're doing, and you're able to bring a blessing down onto yourself, onto the world. You have an or, you have a mayor, like we were speaking yesterday, you have to have the or, by Ikra, yeah, but you have to feel the or. We have to actually make it also. We need the or from Hashem. He gives it to you. That's part of what it is. The more you're able to bring these bechinas into it, they should have the balance more and more chassadas b'das, derusha b'das in this level, the more you have or in this level. The more geschmack your Gemara learning is going to be when you have more, when you want to have dveikus through it, you want to have all these good things, the more hakana you do, the more you're going to have a connection to Pesach, the more you prepare, you're yearning, you're learning about it, you're yearning, you're wanting. That's the cloud, that's the general rule.
So when we have each of the 5 levels of das.
That's right, exactly. Chassadas b'das in chesed, and chassadas b'das in gvura, right? Derusha b'das in chesed, derusha b'das in gvura, and all 5 of them. Chassadas b'das, derusha b'das, all 5.
We can serve Hashem in a completely different way.
That's right. It's totally. It's this, and it's that particular level.
It's called a yichud. That's separately to doing.
That
yichud.
makes the yichud.
That makes the
That makes the yichud. That I'm able to have a das. That's the connection. Ages, I see. I know. That's why I said from the. That's why I said from the.
Because I understand there's a process of doing a yichud for people who are holding, and this it sounds like it's a mamela dika yichud.
You're always doing yichud.
Sorry.
You're always doing yichud. The question is to what? You're always doing yichud. A person's always doing yichud. Either he has a yichud to the kolamin and to a shem the way he should be, or he's got a yichud to stupid things.
Okay.
One or the other. No matter what, you're always doing yichud. So it's totally your choice.
That's different to a makubal sitting down.
There are levels and levels. But either way, you're anyway doing yichud, whether you know or you know. That's why, again, I think I told over this Emek Bracha, I don't know, I'll tell over this Emek HaMelech, I'll tell over again here, and really it's also, Baal Shem Tov Torah says the same thing, that you have to know that, it's in the Baal Shem Tov as well, if I remember right, you have to know that what you do, when you eat food, you're finding your own nefesh in the food.
Wow.
So that's why the Emek HaMelech says why it's very important to make brachas properly, and he says especially about tshuva, he said because what you caused to fall with your failures, whether it was your fault or not in this lifetime, you fix by making good brachas, and then the sparks go in the food, and you can pick them up. That's what he says, very beautiful. Emek HaMelech. That's why it's a big one. Emek HaMelech, also Baal Shem Tov. Emek HaMelech says about tshuva has to be especially careful about it.
And
The Baal Shem Tov brings, Emek HaMelech was before the Baal Shem Tov.
What's I mean?
Emek HaMelech, and then the Baal Shem Tov also brings this in his own beautiful way. But the is to know and to understand that, like, I'm also making yichud, and either it's a good yichud or it's not a good yichud. It's totally my choice. And there are levels and levels.
You see, all day a person's having.
You're connected to something. Either it's to the good side or there's another side.
Right.
Unfortunately, like you're one place or another place. It's your choice. It's our choice. If we want, we're connected to Hashem. We're with the B'rich If not, we're. And again, it's something which we need to work on. It's like integrating the Yetzer Tov and Yetzer Hara, and learning how to focus the way we should focus. Siyata D'Shmaya.
Can I ask an off-topic question about call, or you want to do it later?
How long is it?
Depends how long the roll wants to make.
I don't know. If you want to ask, you can ask, but I don't know.
Whatever, we'll do it later.
Okay, we'll see. We'll figure it out. I don't know,
I'll keep my finger
and
on
we'll
the page.
talk about it. But this is something Rabbi Vali says a lot, by the way. He brings us a yisod all the time, lots and lots. Kol and kala. He brings every time he says kol, he's like, right, these are 5 chesadim, 5 puris. He does it a lot. And again, you'll find this is we're focusing a decent amount on this. We're going a little slow, right? We got only 2 more weeks. And here we are, like, kind of sitting, because this is something that comes up an awful lot. It's a very important yisod that you need to know about, and you're dealing with the 5 chesadim and 5 puris a lot in different places. And again, this is this idea of, like, there's a tremendous tikkun that you're doing, and it's the idea of, like, this connection. Das Tachta brings to Das Elyon. You bring this connection, bring it down to Or, bring it down to Shefa. And that's what you do. You're not just working in the usual construct exactly. You're trying to make a yichud and a zivug and trying to actualize. You want to actualize something and create something. The bechin of the Rebbe talks about. He said, "L'mashal, you give someone an eitzah, so there's a connection between the two of you. There's a bechin of a yichud happening between the two of you. So it's a bad yichud. So someone gives bad advice. So there's good advice. So it's a good yichud. So that's the way. So there's yichudim many there. There's always yichud to me. It's your machshav. You're always thinking. You're always connected. The question is, what are you connected to? Where am I connected? What am I thinking?
So it influences someone to do good.
Yeah, so that's a part. That means that you gave him tools to use the das, to put the das, proper balance of das in chesed gvura teved netzachod, right? And then he has the sod machos, and it happens. That's what it means. That's what it means. Like on a simple, like trying to be very as simple as possible.
So you're giving
as
energy to the machos?
You're giving, you sort of machos is yichud. It brings down or, brings down or, brings an or for you as well. You have a totally different level. And you're able to access more and higher. And that's again, Pesach is about actualizing our potential. It's a big part of what Pesach is. Right. Right. So you have to have a bechina. He said, but it has a bechina from the outer aspects of ima only. Shem eke b'sod achorayim. Eke achorayim. Eke is I'm anazam of the Mahavi. We spoke of this also I think yesterday. I am ready to be right. We Aleph K Yud K. We spoke of this yesterday about. All right. Rav Tzaddik says that Aleph. I have to remember the exact thing he says. I think Aleph was Rosh Chodesh.
Aleph was Rosh Chodesh.
Aleph was
Hey was
because it's a level. It's a level of the kesser of the whole month. You get to Lufa Shalom. You connect to Hashem, and Hey is the Bechin of the 10th of Nisan. Why is that? Because on the 10th of Nisan you're taking the seh to taking the sheep to the sacrifice, which Chazal said it means Mashchir Yudayim, but they have to. The way he explains, like Hashem told them to remove their hands from idolatry. That's the bechin of tshuva. Then the hey again, you go in to do tshuva. Right, the yud is yud. So that was on Yud Nisan. The yud is on the Leil Seder. You get a big aura of chachman of Kesser. Also, very big illumination. And the last hey is the Shvishal Pesach, when you again do tshuva and you actualize. You're able to actualize this bechina of connecting even the lowest things to Hashem. Right? Breaking through the tumultuous yam and the tumultuous whatever taivas to get to what you need to go to. That we spoke about yesterday. It's a very, very important yisod. Very important yisod. So that's Rav Tzaddik on these inyanim. So it's ek is I'm ready to become. And it can encompass a lot of things, right? I'm prepared. It's like the bechina of tshuva. So when you're not really the way you ought to be, so you're going to find that the blood is ruling you. That's what Rebbe says, and it's what says Lantzman from Rishonim, that some Rishonim say that the Yitzhar is within you, some say Yitzhar is this malach. So he said they're both right. On a lower level, like Rinachman says, it's really just the impulse of the blood mostly. On a high level, it's a bechina which is very, very sublime malachim, depending on your level. So, on a simple level, when you're not actualized in that aspect, you're mamish in the dam. The dam is ruling you. Like I said before, this is this bechina. When you have the chitzonis of the lushim, you have a little bit of building. You're built up a little, but you're like an embryo in your room. You're very not actualized, and that's the bechina. B'yinabo shem eki b'sod achorayim. Eki b'achorayim. Rabbi Nachman explains, and many other sources explain that achorayim means din because it goes back and it goes. Brings out one and they go back to the beginning of the word. One letter, back into the word. Second letter, so it's din. You have to go back to the shorish. You can't bring out one shot. That's you're pausing. No. Just achorayim. Aleph, go back. Aleph K, go back. Aleph K Yud, go back. Aleph K Yud K. Right? Such a thing. That's what it says. Shem La'as is going to be Yud K. You can love K K. Is going to time to come. That's the name of the right. That's a sheer. Right, sheer pashut kafel b'shush meruba. That's what Chuzar says, right? Some people learn that. Different bechina, exactly. Some people say it's not the name, but it's something that could be true. Whether it's for now or not, okay, we can discuss that maybe. But actually, one, again, Rav Kivak always, he's like, I don't know about these like letters. He's like, let's like learn the Kutumara, Kutalachas, and let's, there's a lot to work on. We don't need new stuff. That's what he's, like this whole letter thing. But like, bottom line is, like, and again, I'm not expressing an opinion. I don't know. At the very least, it's Shemus Tzadikim, which is a big ticket. That's Pashut.
Shemus Tzadikim.
Of course, has to be trying to connect to Rinachman. Doesn't mean that that's what you need, how you need to do it, or what you need to do, but it for certainly is that much for sure. And again, it's ashkacha. It's a way to reach people in the furthest place, and that's great. It's not necessarily everyone's cup of tea. You have to know where you're holding and what you need to do and how you need to do. But actually, here you have the beginning of Aleph, Aleph, K, Aleph, K, Yud, Aleph, K, which is gematria dam.